going to be a focus on a loving kindness meditation. It is a perfect time for us to be really focusing on loving kindness for our beloved, for our community, for the people that we're having challenges with in being in relationship, and most importantly, it's to have loving kindness for ourselves. So that is the practice for today, loving kindness meditation. And I thought I'd start out actually with a little bit of love. This is my essential oil blend that I make that I call love, and I made it for the heart chakra. And so I thought maybe I'd encourage you to spritz yourself and spritz your mat and spritz each other with some love, and also maybe even spritz your hands with some love, kind of in continuing the thing that we did last week with having some aromatherapy be part of our practice. This is also something that would be great for mats, and I actually use it on my yoga mats as a cleaner, actually, with the essential oils. So anyway, welcome again, and now that we've spritzed ourselves with a little bit of love, we can start with breathing. Okay, so let's start by bringing your hands to heart, palms together, to namaste, to the center, where the center of the appearances of opposition come together, and they come together at the heart. So let yourself close your eyes and just bring awareness to the breath, encouraging the breath to enter and exit through the nostrils, and encourage the breath to move down into the belly center. And then letting the breath expand into the back of the ribs, into the sides of the ribs, and into the front of the ribs. Feeling that three-dimensional breath capacity of the rib cage. Belly extends as you inhale and draws in as you exhale. And letting yourself just quiet the mind enough to become aware, maybe even of your own heartbeat beneath your hands. And imagine, if you will, someone, or maybe something, that when you think of that someone or something, it is really easy for you to feel a sense of love, of kindness, of uplift, inspiring energies. Thinking of that person, or that thing, or that place, we invite in the idea of loving kindness. Inviting it in, and imagine saying this, or say this out loud. May they be happy. Thinking of that person that brings such joy to you. May they be healthy. Thinking of that person that you love. May they be safe. And again, thinking of that person that you love. May they live with ease. All right, let's do a little bit of a movement meditation now with this. Placing your right hand down onto the floor arm up and over to the side, just stretching out gently. We're going to go from side to side, coming up through the center and then reaching up with the right arm overhead. And just going back and forth from side to side, soften through the elbow as you let yourself really draw yourself down even farther, and then back up to center. And again, just feeling into this idea of imagining someone, or maybe something, or someplace, and saying, may they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be safe. May they live with ease. And just feeling that stretching as well as that joy and satisfaction and beauty of wishing that upon someone else that you love. And now we're going to circle around. Imagine that you're stirring the soup of the cauldron of your own pelvis. And you're circling around, and as you circle around, speaking of stirring into the cauldron, let's just imagine somebody that maybe is a little bit of a challenge for you right now. Maybe someone that doesn't bring out the best in you, shall we say. Okay, and then circle around the other direction. And so let's imagine them and either say out loud or wish for them, may they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be safe. May they live with ease. And then coming back to center. And just feeling that idea of wishing that person that might be challenging to you, wishing them loving kindness. And then let's bring our hands back behind our neck. So you're interlacing fingers, holding onto the back of the skull. And then we're going to circle the head and neck around. So you can use your shoulders to kind of, or your elbows to kind of open up through and open up through the front of the neck. And then circle chin to chest and circle ear to shoulder. And then opening up again through the throat as you lengthen through the back of the neck and come over to the other side. As you come forward, you may want to bring your elbows closer together so that that encourages a deepening of the stretch through the back of the neck. And as you're circling around, let's just imagine tuning into somebody that's kind of a neutral presence in your life. Maybe it's the person who's at the register at Weaver Street Market at your local co-op. Or maybe it's just a neutral presence in your life, somebody who's been in a classroom with you before, maybe one of the other students in this class. And then circle around the other direction, and as you circle, imagine, may they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be safe. May they live with ease. And then coming back to center, lining through the spine, bringing hands back to Namaste. And just feel again how the heart sets with this idea of loving kindness, of opening your heart to that place of of unconditional positive regard for everyone. And last but not least, we're going to honor ourselves with loving kindness. So we're going to start out by bringing the arms out to the sides, and like we're bringing all the loving energy from the world and coming back down into our own hearts. So inhaling up and exhaling down into our hearts with a slight bowing gesture, connecting to yourself. May you be happy. And you're saying it to yourself. May I be healthy. To all the parts of you, may you be safe. May you live, may I live with ease. Really receiving that in yourself, for yourself, and for all people. Loving kindness. All right, from here, let's shift our weight forward. You can, whatever it is that you are sitting on, you might move that over to the side. And let's come on to all fours. So we start with cat and cow, kind of warming up the spine. Shifting, tailbone under, curling the chin to the chest, and then lifting the tailbone up. Last part of the movement, lifting the chin away from the chest. And just warming things up a little bit. Into the spine, welcoming the spine in all of its little parts, right? Okay, now press back into walking the dog. So pressing the hips up and walk through, bending one knee and then the other, alternating, shifting one heel down and feeling that sense of stretching and opening, waking up the body, waking up the whole back line of the body. And then shifting the weight forward, walking feet toward hands, hands towards feet, and then roll. Roll up to standing. Pausing and just feeling the difference in your body already, especially with this notion of loving kindness for yourself as a practice. Okay, we're going to warm up the joints a little bit. We haven't done that as a very beginning part of our practice for a few weeks, and I just kind of want to touch back in as a wonderful way of warming up the body. So let's start by just working with the ankles and working our way up to the head and neck again. So circling right ankle out, letting the snap, crackle, pop happen if necessary, and then circling it in. And waking things up. As you're doing this, you're also feeling the quality of contact that the bottom of the foot has with the floor. And then you're going to roll onto the top of the foot and back down. And again, feeling that quality of contact that the bottom of the foot has with the floor, but also feeling that stretch through the top of the foot. A lot of us just don't ever move our feet in this way, stretching out because of, well, wearing shoes and when do we prance in this way? All right, now we're going to go to the other side. So ankle rolling out on the left. Yeah. rolling in on the left. And then rolling through the bottom of the foot, stretching out the top of the foot. There you go. So as you stretch out the top of the foot, feel that, and let's just go back and forth between the feet. Can you feel that all the way up into the calves? Can you feel that all the way into the shins? Yeah, start to become even more sensitive to and aware of how when we move on one side, that it spreads up the whole body. Okay, so that took you up to the knees. And now we're going to circle through the knees. And as you circle through the knees, start to feel the weight shift on the feet when you do that. And then circle around the other direction. And as you circle around the other direction, start to become aware of your hips being involved in this. Maybe your quads, maybe your hamstrings, the thigh musculature. And then bring that as you kind of progress up into the hips. Circling the hips around. Now I like to actually take a wider stance here so that I can really swing those hips around even farther. And feeling that sense of connection, as well as loving kindness is really about bringing compassion. Sometimes compassion, let's go around the other direction. Sometimes compassion requires forgiveness. It requires a certain amount of letting go and allowing, of accepting, and of being with what is, with loving presence and acceptance. All right? So sometimes we have to be that way with our own bodies as they snap, crackle, pop as we go through the joints, right? All right, now we're going to swing. So swing the arms, and you're just going to shift the weight from side to side into one knee and then the other. As you let your arms just gently percuss around the rib cage. And feeling that sense of freedom as well as openness between the hips and the ribs, so that waistline area starts to become more mobile, more flowing, and more part of and connected to your lower back. Okay, then from here, let's circle the shoulders back. And as you circle the shoulders back, start to feel the way the ribs are stationary and the shoulder blades glide and slide over the ribs. Now lift up through the elbows and continue to circle back. And as you do that, see if you can feel a little bit more of a stretch through the sides, through the arms, and through and even down to the legs, the thighs. It's all connected. Let the movement start to lead from the wrists. And then lengthen all the way through the fingertips. So you're really feeling that sense of extending those long lines of the side, extending the long lines of the fingers. And then we're going to reverse the movement. So it's a forward crawl kind of movement. Again, feeling that stretch. See if you can exaggerate, maybe even extending through that same side on the leg. So you really feel that stretch and opening, lengthening, and now softening through and letting it lead, or letting the wrist lead the movement. And then letting the elbows lead the movement. And then letting the shoulders slide and glide, just rolling the shoulders forward. All right, now back, both shoulders back. Rolling back, and then just feel that in your body. Maybe there's a little bit more length and opening through the chest. We did the movement earlier with the cupping the back of the neck with the hands interlaced, but let's add a little bit more with a forward fold. So forward fold, and then stretching to the side, lengthening, opening all the way from the chest, and feel that lengthening, opening from the chest all the way down through the front of the whole torso, over to the side, and back down again. So circling with not just the neck, but the whole torso. torso gets to circle up and around. Up and around and down. Now go the other direction. So you're lifting up and around with the other elbow, leading. Opening and softening. And then coming back up to center. And let's feel even more opening through the chest with the breath of joy. So the breath of joy, remember this is the one where we breathe in 3 times. First in front, then second out to the side, third up overhead, and then the exhale is a forceful exhalation with the arms swinging down on either side, and you get to make a sound as you exhale. Okay? So, last time. Hang down. Hang down there. Now widen your feet just a little bit farther apart, and then just shift your weight from side to side, bending into one knee and in the other. Feeling that sense of stretching out through the back, through the lower body, through the back of the hamstrings, all the way down to the heels. And then bending into the knees, slowly roll yourself up. All right, from here we're going to stand up into a couple of power poses. First starting with the, I call this the 120-year-old pose. This is the one that when 120, reportedly 120-year-old woman said that this was the one yoga pose that she did every day, so why not, huh? All right, so we're gonna interlace some fingers, press the hands out and away, so you're really feeling that stretch through the insides of the palms, the fingers, the flexors of the forearms, and then we just circle a little bit from side to side. Imagine you're pressing the palm of the left hand up onto the sky, and then over to the other side. So you're just feeling that sense of lengthening, lifting, opening, stretch through the front body, and just kind of finding those slightly different micro movement angles that give you the best stretch through your hands, your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your neck. Breathing into it. And imagine all that loving kindness that was also part of a 120-year-old life. She did say that that's actually what her sustenance was. Her sustenance was, doing this stretch as an exercise, but she said what really kept her alive was love and connection and family. So, that makes me want to cry. That's just so beautiful. So now let's extend the arms back behind us, even more opening through the chest, and then out to the sides and down. Now bringing your hands back to center, and just imagine somebody again that's really, maybe somebody that's part of your family, part of your tribe, if it's not blood family, part of your chosen family. And just feel that quality of lightness and love, the kindness that emerges by just imagining that person, letting that enter into your heart, and letting that express itself out to them, beaming from your heart. I'm beaming love to all of you right now as part of my chosen family. heart just got 4 times bigger? Yeah, that's the kind of thing that loving kindness meditation can do. It can bring us into that kind of like the Grinch who stole Christmas, where all of a sudden our hearts just grow. It's awesome. Okay, so from there we have to do the 2-year-old grounding exercise, because we get to shake out anything unlike that. So the other thing that we get to think about with the 2-year-old is to shake out and to let go of anything that stands maybe in the way between you and loving kindness with those that are challenging in your life. Or maybe there's somebody out there that's even a political figure that might be difficult for you to really love and have loving kindness for. So maybe we can even think of whoever and just let go of anything that is in the way. Right? Shaking it out, letting it go, letting anything unlike loving kindness go out of your body. Anything unlike loving kindness out of your body. There you go. Okay, so now we're going to move into 2 more power poses. One is the victory pose, and then the Superman, Wonder Woman pose. Okay, so the first victory pose, extending up into V, victory with the arms. Feel your sense of pressing down into the earth, pressing the legs down and away from each other. Arms up and away from each other. And then really being in that place of feeling that sense of lifting the heart into a state of victory, that maybe you just did clear some of that gobbledygook out of the way, so that you can extend loving kindness out and into the world. As you hold a V, or the victory pose, we can think of many who have paved the way before us with kindness. That people like Gandhi that have paved the way with compassion, paved the way with love, feeling into and opening into the victorious capacity of the human heart, and that we too have that capacity within us to love unconditionally into the world, or at least to bring kindness and positive regard to all. All right, from here, bring the hands down and widen the stance. And place your hands on your hips into Wonder Woman. Now, Wonder Woman, we press into the hips, press the legs down, away from each other. So you're really feeling that sense of strength through the outer lines of the body. Draw the elbows just slightly behind the rib cage, so you feel that sense of opening through the front of the ribs and through the heart. And then lift up through the pelvic floor. So you're really feeling that strength that's coming up through the core, through the center of the body, all the way up through the crown of the head. And feeling that sense of strength. The Wonder Woman, the Superman, that energy that we're calling in, maybe it's the energy of the Dalai Lama, who says that his religion is kindness, that that's what he practices, kindness. Yeah. Letting that kind of energy of compassion open your heart even more, even more, even more. All right, and let's let that down, and then go ahead and just have a stance between your 2 feet. You're walking parallel, hip distance apart, but the stance is just kind of a nice stride, as if you were going to be taking a walk and you're going to take your next stride forward. Okay? And then we're going to place our hands back behind us. Now I'm going to turn to the side because I think it's going to be easier for you to see it that way. So bringing your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers, and then roll the shoulders back and down. Lengthening, if you can, lengthening your arms all the way down behind you. Now if it feels like that's not going to happen because your shoulders are saying, we're not that flexible, then go ahead and use a tie or a band, or even just a piece of fabric, that like a dish towel, and using that to hold on to either end of it, rolling the shoulders back and feeling that sense of opening through the front of the chest. Okay, so we're going to come into that, and also if you interlace your fingers one way, try interlacing them the other way, just for a little different kind of neurological hookup. Okay, so roll the shoulders back and down, extend the arms with prop or not, and then go ahead and soften into both knees. As you soften into both knees, can you feel how you're stretching through the back of that, the back leg, the back of the back leg? Yeah, so you're really feeling that stretch. And then come into standing. So both legs are straight, but you're extending through and away from each other. So you really feel that dynamic press down into the floor and away from each other. Now, as you do that, it creates more stability for yourself, more sense of ground and connection to the ground. We'll want that. And then pick a visual focal point for yourself, something that you can gaze on that doesn't move, that's slightly in front of your mat. Maybe it's a knot in the wood floor, or maybe it is the front of your mat. Either way, pressing down and away with the feet, arms are going to come up and lift up as you fold, hinging at the hips, folding forward. As you fold forward, you're going to feel a stretch, especially in the front leg, the back of the front leg. Arms are going to come up and overhead. Now, depending on your flexibility, you may be able to bend all the way down so that you start to gaze at your big toe, and bringing the arms up even farther overhead. Stretching through and letting the head come down. Okay, now we're going to press into the front foot, press into the back foot, lift up with the arms, and bring yourself back up to center. Release the hands, release the foot, and step back. Pause for a moment, just feeling that in your body. All right, now we're going to step forward with the other side. So I'm just going to turn to the other side and step forward, step back, feeling that sense of a nice stride and the easy access to it. Interlace fingers, roll the shoulders back and down, soften through the knees, feel that stretch through the back leg. Feeling that stretch, then extend through both legs, and then folding or hinging at the hips, draw your upper body forward. Again, gazing at something that helps you have a visual focal point, either the end of the mat or all the way down to your big toe of the front leg. Arms coming up and overhead. Feel the length and the stretch through the arms, through the back body, as well as you're bowing your head below your heart here. We're giving the heart the throne. Press into and away from each other with the legs, lifting the arms up, drawing yourself back up to center, soften through the knees. Release the hands and step back. Hands can come to namaste or to prayer. Pause for a moment and just feel that in your body. Feel the breath. That was called Yoga Mudra. Now we're going to go into Warrior. So stepping forward again, this time we're going to step forward maybe a little bit longer of a stance, maybe a little bit more space between the feet. Have your hips facing forward, just like you were with Yoga Mudra. Okay? We're going to bend into the front knee. As you soften into and bend into the front knee, you'll feel even more of a stretch through the front of the other hip. Bring the arms up. As you bring the arms up, just extending straight out of the shoulders now at first. Let's do that. As you extend up through the arms, you'll feel an opening, even more of an opening through the chest. Think of lengthening up and turning your gaze upward toward the sun. Now, I don't know about you, but if your hips are parallel and your feet are parallel, that means that that back leg probably isn't having a heel touch. Right now you're up on the ball of the foot, and that is just fine. Exactly what needs to be happening. In fact, extend that back heel down so you feel that sense of hovering maybe over the mat, and so that you're really feeling that sense of length through the back of that back leg. Lift up through the chest and maybe even arc slightly up and over so you're feeling that sense of the heart beaming forward with its loving kindness. And then bring the hands down. As you bring the hands down, let's come all the way down on either side of the front leg. And then shift that leg back. We're going to go into downward dog. So shifting that leg back. And let's just walk back and forth a little bit. Walk your dog. And then walk your feet to hands, hands to feet. And roll up to stand again. Pause, just feeling that in your body. And then we're going to do the same thing. Excuse me, the same thing to the second side. So stepping forward with the other foot. Nice long step. So you feel that sense of the lift. Here, I'll do it this way so you can see it. The lift of the back heel as you shift into the front knee. Lift the arms up overhead, directly out of the shoulders. And as you shift into the front leg, see if you can drop the back heel even farther so that the hips are parallel, facing the same direction as the shoulders are and the feet are facing that same direction. Now lifting up, lift up, let the shoulder blades slide back and down as you lift the chest up even farther into a version of warrior, strong, proud, focused, a peaceful warrior that you are. Okay, and then we're going to bring your hands down on either side of that front foot and press back into downward dog again. Now with downward dog this time, actually we're going to have that, let's have your left knee come to the chest and just hug the knee to the chest slightly. And then extend the leg back behind you. And then draw the leg to the chest again, knee to chest. And then bring the knee to the opposite elbow. So you're bringing it up towards the right elbow. And then back, extending out again, and down. Now if this feels like too much for you in your upper body, you can always come into an all fours kind of figure instead. Okay, so we're going to extend now. Right leg back and to the chest. And back and to the chest. Then to the opposite knee. And to the chest and back again. Now place that leg down and let's go ahead and walk ourselves back up into standing, rolling up. Hands to heart and reassess. Just feeling how you're doing now. All right, if you have a gurdy ball, this would be a good time to find your gurdy ball because we're going to move into a couple of standing postures that we really can access that midline even more so with the gurdy ball. So bring the arms up overhead into temple position. Interlace fingers, index fingers pointing up towards the sky. Now feel that sense of squeeze through the inner thighs, evenly distributed with the squeeze, front, sides, and back of the inner thigh. And feel that lift also occurring in the core, all the way up from the pelvic floor through the crown of the head, feeling that sense of length and strength. Now from here we're going to go into half moon. So arcing over to your right, and feeling the stretch there. And maybe even breathing a little loving kindness into that left side of the body as it's stretching out. And then coming back up to the center. Pause. Extend. Breathe through it and exhale over to your left. Stretching through the whole right side of the body. Opening up the side seams and opening up the sides of the heart. And then coming back up to center. And then from here, let's fold the elbows. So you're folding your forearms. You're going to hold onto your elbows with your hands. We're going to do the same thing, that folding over to the side in a half moon fashion. But lift up through the left elbow and then arc over to your right. Feeling that sense of, again, we're really stretching the sides of the heart, of the container of the ribs of the heart. The lungs are on either side of the heart. So as we breathe, I like to think of them as wings of the heart, your lungs. Coming back up to the center. Pause at the center. Just righting yourself again. Be aware of your feet, your legs, your inside of your inseam of your legs, reaching up through the crown. And coming over to the other side. This time again, leading with that right elbow up and over. So you really feel that stretch through the whole right side of the body. Yeah, that's it. Breathe into it. And coming back up through center. Let's extend the arms up. And then out to the sides and down to the thighs. Go ahead and close your eyes. Just receive this posture in your body for a moment. All right, now extending the arms straight out in front of you. Bending into the knees and letting the knees track directly over the toes. So you're really feeling that sense of a straight bending down and forward. As you come down and forward, sink down as far as you can without lifting your heels. And right about there, you'll find that kind of like what I think of as the bottom of the pond. It's that kind of soft place where you sink in and go, oh, that's as far as I'm going to go. So hang out there. Hang out at that soft resting place where your legs say, that's my limit. And then within that, there is a strengthening that occurs. There's a strengthening and a stretching that occurs. And maybe we can even do a little loving kindness meditation just for the part of us that is working so hard right now, the thighs. May my thighs, may your thighs be happy. May your thighs, may my thighs be healthy. May your thighs, may my thighs be safe. May your thighs, may my thighs live with ease. All right, and here we go. Pressing into the earth, letting the hands come down to the thighs and say, thank you, thighs. Maybe your heart is beating a little faster now because you just called on your heart and cardiovascular system to pump a little bit more blood through your system. Just feeling that in your body with gratitude. Thank you, heart, for beating a little faster and knowing how to self-regulate. All right, let's let go of that ball for now. And wide stance. We're going to come out into star and into goddess. Okay, so star pose. Remember, we're extending out through that center of your beaming self, out through your arms, out through your legs, out through the crown and out through the tail. So you're a six-pointed star here, beaming into the world with great radiance. This light of yours shine your heart shining out into the world. And maybe with this posture, we can have the compassion of the goddess, softening into the elbows, softening into the knees. Let the knees track out and back behind you, so you're opening up the inner thighs. Let your elbows track back just so that they're just posterior to your rib cage. So you feel that sense of opening. And then sinking down even farther, so you're getting a deep activation of the muscles of the hip and thigh. All right, from here, may we all, as we tend, like the goddess, to the next generation of humanity, may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be safe, may they live with ease. And then extending it out to all those who are in our world, in our galaxy, as a star shines, may the galaxy, may all the stars in the sky, even those that are past our galaxy, may they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be safe. May they live with ease. All right, from here, let's soften into and through the goddess into sumo. So shifting the weight back and forth from side to side. And as you shift the weight back and forth from side to side, feel the bending into the knees, and maybe even inching your way down a little bit farther, so you're stretching out the inner thighs even more. All right, well, this is one of the only times that you can actually let your shoulders rise, meaning your shoulders can kind of kiss your earlobes. And then you'll feel as you press into the legs and you let the shoulders shrug slightly, you can feel that stretch that this allows into the lower back. Okay, now what we're going to do now is stretch with a twist. So we're going to lift up slightly with the inhale, letting the shoulders drop back and down, and then exhale, twisting, let your right shoulder drop forward and gaze over the left shoulder with the exhale. Inhaling center, exhaling, gazing over right shoulder, left shoulder dropping down and forward. See that lengthening of that left arm so that there's a real deep stretch. Back to center. And dropping down. As you drop down, see if you can stretch through those inner thighs even more. And center, inhale. Exhale, dropping down, sinking through even more. We're going to do this one more time each side. Inhaling center. Dropping forward, strengthening, stretching, deepening. And center. Last time, exhaling into the twist. And as you come back to center, we're just going to hang out in center. So hang out in center by sinking down. And then press into the legs, extend the legs, walk the feet, toe heel yourself back to center. And then bring the hands to namaste. Pause for a moment, just feel that in your body. Loving kindness to future generations. Loving kindness out as a star shines into the galaxy. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be safe. May they live with ease. All right, we're going to walk down onto our downward dog self again. So walk on down. Downward dog, and we're going to shift the weight back and forth until you feel that sense of equal weight bearing between the 2 feet, as well as equal weight bearing with the 4 feet, meaning your hands. And then shift the weight forward into plank. Now in plank, what we want to do is have our hips parallel to or in alignment with the shoulders. Now if this is too much for you, you can drop your knees at any point. Just knowing that that's strengthening your upper body and your core, drawing the navel toward the spine, so you're feeling that sense of strength coming through the core. Lengthen through the heels, lengthen through the crown. That's it. And then come on down onto your knees. As we come on down to our knees, let's bring our hands a little bit farther forward, and then start by shifting the weight forward and back, letting the forearms drop down, kind of pouncing forward and back. Just warming up the arms a little bit more. You can slide forward and push back, glide onto the forearms and press back. And then this next time, let's add a waggy, snaky tail. So letting yourself find your inner find your inner slither. Find your inner movement of fluidity of the spine. It may be that you come all the way into upward dog. It may be that you come all the way back into child's pose. Let yourself just unwind all the way from tailbone to the crown of the head. And then widen your knees out a little bit more, bringing the toes together behind you, and then go ahead and come into child's pose, arms extended. Surrendering into and letting your hips drop even farther back. And then go ahead and cross the legs back behind you and walk yourself back to a seated position. Let's extend the legs out in front. And as you extend the legs out in front, just feel the stretch as you let your sits bones rest on the floor, okay? From here, widen the feet out so you're about mat width apart. And then bring your hands back behind you. Let the knees. Let the knees just drop, windshield wiper-like movement from side to side, opening up the pelvis, opening up the hips. Yes. And then from here, let's extend the legs again. Go ahead and place your hands right next to your hips. I'm going to shift to a side angle because I think it'll be easier for you to see this. So we're going to go into what I call the Fountain of Youth, but it's only one of the postures of the series of postures that are part of a Tibetan practice called the Fountain of Youth. But anyway, that's what this is. So we're sitting up and we're going to swing our hips up as we press our feet down into the floor, swing the hips up, drawing the hips so that they're parallel with the shoulders as you press up and back. Now, fingertips are facing your heels, okay? And you're going to slide back down again. Now, for some of you, this is easier than others based on the ratio between your arm length and your torso length. Some people will need to actually have a little block or something if your arms are shorter than your torso. So you may want to have either a blanket or a prop that's right here to help you kind of heighten or lengthen your arms. And we're going to slide up with the inhale and come down with the exhale. Two more times. Last time. You feel that? Maybe you need to shake your wrists out a little bit. Okay, so from here, next thing we're going to do is we're going to come back onto our back onto our arms, and we're going to bring our feet up, similar to what you were just doing. But this time we're just going to lift the hips, and we're going to shift into the elbows. This, I like to think of this as the crab. That's kind of what I call it. Have you ever seen how a crab moves around? Well, we don't have to move like a crab necessarily, like skitting around the floor, but instead just feeling that sense of the strength of the backs of your arms and your shoulders, and opening through the chest as you open up through the shoulder girdle in the back. Got it? Okay, from here, now we're going to find the ball again if you have a ball. If you don't, that's fine. But we're going to place it between our knees and bring yourself down all the way on your forearms. Okay? You're going to bring the legs up and squeeze the legs together so you have that activation. If you don't have a ball as a prop, you can use a blanket, or it could just be that you're bringing your knees up. As you do that, if you're doing this with me, you probably feel it already in your lower abs, right? Okay, so from here we're just going to draw the toes down and draw the toes up. Now, if it feels like you're getting a little, like it's a little too much for the shoulders, you can bring yourself down and have this just be a movement of the legs. As you do that, however, it may be that it calls on even more strength. So lifting up might be another option to be a little bit less challenging. All right, this next time, see if you can extend the legs and drop them. Extend the legs and drop them. Extend the legs and drop them. One more time. Extend the legs and drop. Okay, now from here, bring yourself back up. We can let go of the ball and put it to the side. And then we're going to, I'm just going to turn forward because it'll be easier for you to see this. Then we're going to come into that zigzag kind of like position, kind of like we were doing earlier with the window washing kind of movement of the knees. And we're going to slide up, place your left hand back behind you at your hip. Extend the right arm up in front of you, pressing forward so you're really feeling that length through the whole right side of the body. Breathe into it, feel a stretch, and then swing back down. And then we'll do it again. Up and stretch, and down, and then coming back to center, and one more time, up and stretch, and down and come back to center. All right, now zigzag the other way. Right hand behind you. Left hand glides up into the air as you press the hips both up into the air and feel that stretch through the left side. And then coming down. One more time, no, two more times here. Lifting up, stretching, and sliding down again. And up. And sliding down again. All right, now from our zigzag place, let's bring the bottoms of the feet together into cobbler pose. Shift your weight back and forth so you have both sits bones really resting on the floor. And then just fold forward. For some it's easier than others, right? Let your knees drop out farther, out to the sides. You may even want to press down slightly so you feel that sense of opening through the inner thighs. Shift your weight forward with the upper body. So as you hinge forward at the hips, you'll feel that deepening through the stretch to the back of the legs, through the hips, through the lower back. Shift your weight, maybe inching forward as you allow your upper body to surrender down and forward. Into the floor. Now you may not go as far as I do, and that is perfectly okay. Just go as far as
feels comfortable to you and your body is being met with compassion and love and kindness. All right, walk yourself back up. And then draw the knees together. I want to do a couple more postures on the back. So I think the best way is actually to demo it this way. So rolling down onto your back, let's place our hands underneath our hips. Just like the tips of our fingers under our hips. And then see if you can lift up and come onto the forearms. So you're sitting, I'm actually sitting farther onto the backs of my hand. Okay. Or the backs of my hands, plural. All right, so just notice as in here, I can be sunken in the chest or I can be lifted in the chest. So we want that lift and pressing the elbows down and back and behind you. So feeling that sense of opening through the front of the chest, press down into the heels, and lengthen up and over. Okay, and then bringing the head back up. So that's one version. And now the next is more of what is called the fish pose. So that's extending the legs out. Same movement of the upper body, pressing into the forearms, lifting up through the chest, lengthening through that arc of the spine, and lengthening the head and neck back. Press through the heels, flex the feet back and down. It's called the fish because you think of being like a fish that is like a dolphin skimming over the surface of the ocean. Lift the head and neck, and then roll yourself out by pressing down through each vertebrae. Walk your hands out from underneath your spine or hips, and bring them down to your sides, palms down onto the floor. Let's walk the heels back towards the hips or towards the sits bones, and then we're going to come up into the bridge. So roll the tailbone up, peeling the spine up off of the floor into the bridge. And then let yourself roll the spine back down again, vertebrae by vertebrae, letting it fold down so that the last part is the rolling out of the tail. So curling the tailbone up. I'm doing this with my hand just as a marker of lifting it up through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, and rolling back down again. And this next time, I want you to come to your full version of bridge. Now, maybe what we just did, or it may be that your version of bridge is to bring your hands interlaced underneath you, walk the shoulders underneath you, lift up through the pelvis even more as you arc and open through the front body, strengthening the back body as you press down into the heels, press those knees to the opposite wall, gently lengthening through the back of the neck so you really feel that sense of opening through the whole back body. All right, and then from here, let's just feel that sense of openness of heart. May my heart be happy. May my heart be healthy. May my heart be safe. May my heart live with ease. And then walk the shoulders out, walk the hands out, roll the spine down. Let's draw the knees to the chest and just rock from side to side. So you're just rocking from side to side, feeling that sense of massaging out basically anything that's been holding or tight. All right, and then extend the left leg down. So as you extend the left leg down, see if you can draw the right knee even closer to your chest. As you do that, it may stretch out this area a little bit more so you're feeling even more of an opening through the front of the left hip. They also call this the wind relieving posture, which is kind of fun trivia. So actually, if you're having issues with any kind of digestive concerns, this can actually be a really good posture to do. All right, so from the wind relieving posture, we're going to bring the knee across the body into a spinal twist, into a supine or on the spine, spinal twist. So drawing that right knee across the body, extend the right arm back behind you, and feel that opening through the whole twisting side seam of the body. Lengthen, you can bring your left hand to the outside of the hip or onto the outside of the knee to draw that knee all the way down to the mat. And then you can bring that the right arm back behind you and extend, gazing over the shoulder, creating even more of a spinal twist. Take a couple deep breaths here, really feeling that sense of stretch and opening. And then draw the knee up, back to center. Let's switch legs and draw the left knee to the chest, extending the right leg down. Hug the knee to the chest, compressing it into the belly. Kind of giving yourself like a little internal visceral massage of the guts as you draw that knee in even more deeply. Extend through that right leg even more, so you're feeling that sense of lengthening through the whole front of that right hip. And then draw the knee across. So you're going to bring that over to the side and see if you can drop it all the way down to the floor. Now as you do that, your left shoulder is going to come up, and that's okay. That is just fine. So we're going to keep on encouraging the left hip to drop back and down, and then extend the left arm back behind you. Again, encouraging that to unfold, to open up. It may be that you can gaze over that shoulder, and then you play a little bit, maybe a little bit between that knee dropping and that shoulder dropping. Breathe into it. Feel the deliciousness of that spine. And maybe a little loving kindness for your spine. May my spine, may your spine be happy. May your spine be healthy. May your spine be safe. May your spine live with ease. And then drawing the knee back up to center. And then both knees back up to center. And then let's come into happy baby. So we're going to hold on either to the outsides of our feet or onto your big toes. And soften through the knees, widen the legs out to the sides, and just rock from side to side. As you rock from side to side, maybe lengthen through one leg and maybe the other leg. And then maybe rocking up and down a little bit, back and forth, kind of massaging the lower back and the spine with the movement of the legs lifting, rocking, maybe extending. Just explore like a happy baby explores without any attachment. Oh, may all the babies and all the babies in the world, may they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be safe. May they live with ease. May all babies be happy. All right, now let's draw the legs in. Hold on to the backs of the thighs and roll yourself up. Now here I'd like for you to prepare for Shavasana. And there are several different ways. Since Shavasana is going to be a meditation, continuing with this loving kindness meditation practice, it may be that you are on your spine in Shavasana in our usual kind of corpse pose, or it may be that you come to a seated position, whatever feels right for your meditation. The other
the other thing that I wanted to introduce to you this week is a pose that I call a positive rest position. And it's kind of like a gentle hug. But it's, here's how it goes. Okay, so you're going to place your hands, or actually, I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, I think this is the better way to show you. Okay, so feet are about hip distance apart, but then the knees are going to come together. And you're going to rest back and cross your arms and kind of place them over your head. I think that for that part, I am going to rotate. Okay, so my knees are actually resting on each other as if they're kind of propped up against each other. And then my arms are going to hug me. Now, I'm having to hug myself. I thought this would be a good one for the loving kindness meditation. To hug yourself, to love yourself. But from the hug, we can bring our arms up and cover the face. So it actually is kind of like an eye pillow. Like your arms become an eye pillow for you. So letting yourself feel that sense of inner focus. And there's a kind of folding in to the center or the midline with this. So if this feels good, bringing your arms up over your face. If this feels good, hugging yourself. Or maybe that feels good for just a couple minutes and then you go into Shavasana. Okay? Alright, wherever it is that you shall join me, I'm going to actually sit up for this. So making yourself comfortable and settling in and letting yourself feel that sense of connection to your breath, deep into the belly and into your heart center. Feeling the spaciousness of your own heart. And the kindness and the tenderness and the loving and compassion that is there within you, in your heart. And now again, what I'd like for you to do is to imagine someone that you love. Somebody that brings you great joy. Somebody that is easy to love, and every time you think of them, you can't help but smile with love. Imagine them sitting before you, or standing before you, and looking into their eyes, and saying, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Just feel them receive that from you. And feel the gift of giving that to them. Maybe there's a moment of loving exchange. And then bring your awareness again to someone who is a neutral presence in your life. Or someone who is friendly, like maybe another person in this yoga class. And imagine gazing into their eyes and saying, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. And maybe there's a little exchange, or certainly the feeling of the warmth of the heart as that loving kindness and intention extends through you. And then imagine someone who is in the world that is not easy to love. And imagine gazing into their eyes and saying, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. And feel what it's like now to extend loving kindness. Maybe there's a shift that can happen in that relationship through this practice. And then imagining the world at large, the future generations, all of humanity on the planet. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they live with ease. Just feeling the expansiveness of that intent. That you are part of. And following that, imagine gazing into the mirror, looking into your own eyes and saying to yourself, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you live with ease. And we can say that to all the parts of us. We can say that to everyone in our family. We can say that to everyone in the world and everyone we ever interact with. And it can become an exquisite practice of finding the part of us that is a presence of unconditional positive regard for the world, of loving kindness to ourselves and to every living being. So letting yourself roll to your side and come up to a seated position. Maybe bringing your hands to Namaste. And let me say this to you. May I look into your eyes right now. And can you receive, even through YouTube, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Namaste.